Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Karasmai. I'm currently the rank 1 Kayn of the world, and I'm here to show you all the best clears on Kayn and when you should do them. Okay, so first clear we have is our top to bot full clear. Now, this is going to be the best clear for Kayn. Not the clear you're going to do every game, but it is probably majority of your game. Now, the reason why it's so good is because pathing for bot lane guarantees that you can fight 2 people instead of 1, which gives you a much quicker form. And let's say hypothetically the enemy jungler is also pathing bot and you don't want to 3v3 because Kayn is weak, you could reset, get double longsword, and still make it in time to the top scuttle to get it on spawn. So really, it's a great clear, and I recommend you guys learn how to do this one first. Alright, so now let me show you what the full clear looks like. So you auto Q, and you want to drag this blue buff over to this wall here, and you want to Q into the wall for faster animations. So make sure you're in the center of the blue as well, because if you're not, then you're not going to hit both your Qs if you're like kind of standing on the outskirts. So notice both Qs go off there both times quite successfully. We're going to get this below 300 HP, and then we're going to smite this, auto twice, Q to the right, then we're going to auto W. So notice we always use autos in between our abilities. So auto Q, auto W, auto Q right there, Q into wall as well, hide it out, and now we're going to auto Q the big wolf. Now only the big wolf needs to get focused. You don't need to hit the little wolves here, right? Because hitting the little wolves, they're gonna die anyway to your Q and W, so it's kind of a waste of time. And now we're gonna kite this out. Once it's like sub 200 HP, you can kite it out. And instead of leveling our E here, we're just gonna level up our Q. We're gonna go stand right over here. We're gonna Q over just like that. We're gonna auto W. We're just gonna stand right here, wait for our next Q, and then we're gonna just kite this all the way down. We're going to auto it, and then we're going to auto Q the big red buff, and we're going to drag this down to this wall over here. Making sure I'm queuing in the wall for faster clear speed here, of course. So want to make sure that we're finishing that off, and now we're just going to finish our Krugs. And as you can see, this is a much faster full clear than what Kayn normally sees, and if you do it properly, you should be done at around 308, 309. So let me know what you guys think. Starting Q is obviously number 1, and just understanding how Kayn's kit, I'll kind of go over it. Blue smite, don't need a pot, never need pot. So you want to start off with autoing and then Q into the wall like that. So Qing in wall is always the fastest way to clear on Kayn because it cancels the animation, which gives you more time for auto. So another Q in wall like that. And you hear that like thick sound of your Q. When you hear that, that's how you know both Qs hit. So a lot of people, they'll try queuing in wall, but they only land 1 Q. But make sure that you're in the center of the camp and both Qs are hitting. So now we're gonna kite this out towards our Krugs, and we're gonna Q over the wall right there. And notice I get my E, but I don't use my E. So once again, we're gonna Q in wall right here, like that. Now only the little one only needs to get hit by 1 Q, to be honest. And then you kill it with an auto like that. And you want to Q all these. So 210 is when you're done with Krugs, right? And then you E all the way from Krugs to Raptors. You take 1 auto on the Raptor, move back, Q in, so you hit every single Raptor. And then you just auto this 4 times, right? Take a step in this bush, and then you Q them all again. And now you're just gonna walk here. And notice I put 2 in my Q, correct? So 2 in my Q means that I'm gonna be able to clear this quicker. I approach from an angle to where I can smite this. It comes to me quicker. I auto Q, and then you want to auto 1, 2, 3. So 4 autos total. And then you're going to E over this wall, and you're going to auto this 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to Q it over to the right like that. And now you're actually going to drag this into the wall. And you want to just Q down like that. So you hear how both Qs went off. So now once this is sub 400 HP like that, you want to smite this camp, auto it twice, Q to the left, and then you just Q this one to the wall. And now, what you're going to be looking for after you're done with this clear is, okay, is bot lane overextended? If they're overextended, they're pushed past this terrain, then what you would do is you would wrap, not from this angle, but you would wrap all the way from here into this dragon pit, and you would just E down and look to gank them. Now, if they're not overextended, what you do is you would reset, and you would immediately go to the top scuttle. So you would reset, you'd be here, you'd get double longsword, control ward, go here, contest. So that's what the red side full clear looks like. That's red side full clear for you. Okay, let's talk about Kayn's clear number 2. So the bot to top full clear. This is a terrific clear into any tough matchups such as Shaco, Master Yi, Rengar, champions that are going to look to invade you and kill you on your camp. So most of the time when they try to track you, they're going to try to find you in that bot side. So what you could do is you can actually start your bot side, ward their raptors early, and do a bot to top full clear. Now keep in mind, just because you're pathing up doesn't mean you need to only gank top lane. You could look for a gank in bot lane after your first reset. But I recommend you guys learn how to do this if you're worried about getting invaded. Okay, boys, we're going to be showing you how to do the blue side bot to top full clear. So first things first, I'm going to start my auto Q. Instead of Q auto, I like to always throw in autos in between my abilities. So we get the auto Q. We want to drag it in the wall so you get the faster animations. You can cancel those autos. And I'm also kiting it towards my Krugs here as well. So another auto Q. And now we're going to look to just kill it with autos. You're not going to smite your first camp. And as you can see, I also do not have my pot. And now we're just going to Q down. And this is a terrific clear to do whenever you suspect the enemy jungle may be invading you. So bot to top full clear is really good. And we're going to Q and wall once again. You get the animations quicker. And you can notice I leveled up my E, but I haven't used it yet. Make sure we hit all the baby Krugs with our Q. You want to be done with those Krugs at around 210. So that's how you know that you did a good job. If you're done with that at 210. So we're going to auto the big one once. Q them all after a short step back. Auto it 3 more times here. We're going to drag in the bush. We're going to Q all of them. And we're going to auto this once. We're going to let it drag out a little bit towards us because it moves quick. We're going to auto it. One last little love tap. Now we're actually going to take a bit of a wide angle here just so we can get vision of the wolf quicker. And we can fight it. Auto Q. And now you want to auto 1, 2, 3. As soon as you see it sub 300 HP. And then you want to auto this 1, 2, 3. Q to the left. And now we're going to drag this on over here. And you're going to drag this into the wall. And you want to make sure that you're auto queuing into the wall as well, so you're getting those faster animations. And now we're going to get this to around sub 400 HP. You're going to auto this twice, Q to the right, and you want to let the pet finish that blue buff off. And now you can just simply Q into the wall. And if you do all this properly, you should be done at around 312. Alrighty, so the bot to top red side full clear, we're going to auto Q, and we're going to drag this already over towards the Gromp here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm queuing down towards the wall for faster animations. Now this is another full clear that I'd recommend. If you suspect that enemies are going to look to invade you, this is perfect. So we're going to get this to around sub 300 HP, and then you're going to smite this, auto it twice, and you're going to Q to the left, and you're going to level up your W, and you want to auto W. So you're always using your abilities in between your auto attacks. Okay, and now we're just going to kite this out towards the end. And we're going to start Q immediately. Auto, W. Drag this over towards the wall. And then you're going to make sure that you Q in wall like that. Fast animation. Make sure that both your Qs land on that now, by the way. Don't make the mistake that a lot of Kayn players do and only hit 1 Q. So now we're going to move to the Raptors here, and you're going to put 2 points in your Q. You're going to Q over this wall just like that. Auto Q, auto W, just like that. And we're going to kite it up towards our red. One last Q, a last little love tap. And now we're going to be doing our red, which we're going to drag towards our Krugs. So auto Q and wall like that. Auto W. Get it deep into the wall, into the center of it. Q it, and now we're going to get it down with autos. And we're going to Q over the wall just like that. And now we're just going to finish this camp off. And if you do everything correctly, you should have one of Kayn's fastest full clears. The red side bot to top full clear is just as fast as the blue side. So 307. And that's how you do bot to top red side. Okay, lastly, we have our Raptor Start full clear. Now, this is something I only recommend for players in Masters Plus to do. The reason why I say this is because the Raptor Start full clear is kind of an AFK farm playstyle, and it's good to counter farm heavy champions such as Karthus, such as Zyra. So the thing is with these champions, the best way to counter them is to have a very strong first reset. And the Raptor Start full clear guarantees level 5, and you have some early gank opportunities as well. And the reason why I want to do it in lower elo is because, well, most junglers, even if they are playing the fast clearing junglers, they still don't know how to clear fast. So it's really only an issue I'm ever going to find in Masters Plus, but it is something I would recommend into AFK farm junglers that you cannot invade. Very important that I mention this. Cannot invade. With the blue side, Raptor Start full clear, you're going to make sure that you start Q, and you're just going to Q immediately. And you're going to auto this down. And only hit the big Raptor with your autos. Make sure that you're doing that. And you're going to use your E immediately. You go to your Krugs. Now, notice I'm skipping my red. The importance of that is that I'm going to farm my Raptors and my Krugs twice before I do my reset. That is very important to remember. So we're just going to finish this Krug. We're going to kind of kite it over towards this wall. And all the baby Krugs come out. You're just going to insta-Q and wall like that. And I want to smite this red so it comes to me as quick as possible. And now we're just going to kite this camp towards where we want to go next. It should be our wolves. And if we could do this properly, we could save a good amount of time by using our E to go from point A to point B here. So we're going to make sure that we're exiting the center of the tower. And you click right over here on this wall. And if you do that, you'll save a lot of time. So ideally, Raptors isn't the fastest clear, but it's good because you're going to clear your Raptors and Krugs twice before you reset. So it gives you a lot of gold on your first reset. And it's very good into like power farm heavy junglers, you know, such as like Zyra, Karthus, etc. So you don't fall too far behind in CS. And we're going to get this to like sub 400 HP. And then we're going to drag it over towards our blue here. Don't need to use our E. Typically, I like to save my E for the scuttle. So, now we're going to finish the blue. Now, I don't need to, but I actually want to show you guys this. So, basically, after your blue here, 315, that's a Raptor Start 315 full clear. So, you can look for a gank in top during this time period for using this wall to get up here. Or you can look for a gank through mid. But the main thing is that you want to farm the scuttle. Obviously, adjacent to where you just finished. We can ignore the bot scuttle, normally assuming that the enemy jung is down there. And then what you could do after this is you could look for the mid gank, but more importantly, what you're going to do. So you look for the mid gank, you can use this terrain, this wall with your E. But the main thing that you want to do is making sure that you're farming your Raptors and Krugs before you reset. So we're going to do that one more time just to kind of show you what you need to do. So this will respawn at around 357. Very important to remember the respawn timers and all that. Because if the enemy jungler goes straight to your Raptors, let's say you greed for a reset or you overstay on top, you're going to lose your camps. But now we get our Raptors. I can get my Krugs here. Gotta wait for them to spawn. And I usually like to use my second smite on this. And we're going to auto the little one time there. And that is what a blue start Raptor Start full clear looks like. Level 5, first reset. Alrighty guys, now it's time to show you the Raptor Start red side full clear. So this is going to be another path that you're going to be doing into the very farm heavy champions. Such as, you know, Karthus, Fiddlesticks, Brand, etc. So, I'm going to make sure that we're starting the Raptors here. I want to make sure that you just Q all of them. And you only need to auto the big Raptor. We're going to use our E immediately to go over towards the Krugs here. And we're going to Q immediately. And we're going to just kite this camp over towards where we want to go next. Want to make sure that you're queuing down into the wall so you can get the faster animation and get more auto attacks. Gonna use my Q right here just to finish him off. Head out of that little baby one because it's scattered away, but should be fun. Gonna make sure we smite this immediately so it comes to me faster. Gonna auto Q into the wall right now. Faster animations so we can get more auto attacks. And now notice I'm not kiting it all the way because I'm actually going to utilize this wall right next to me. But once I'm done with this, I'm going to put 2 points in my Q. I'm going to E right here on this wall. I'm going to click on the center of that and then click over here. And if you do that properly, you should be able to consistently use your E from that terrain all the way through the tower. And now we're just going to do the wolves. And now keep in mind, this clear is all about not just your first clear, but your second clear as well. So we're going to kite this over towards the Gromp. Now, we're not going to do blue. We're going to do Gromp first. That way, next time I go to farm my bot side camps, they spawn one after the other. Because buffs have a 5-minute respawn time. But, you know, camps such as Wolves and Gromp, they spawn earlier. So this is good for farm-heavy champions. To ignore the buffs. Get this sub 400 HP. Kite this over. Auto it twice. Q to the right. And now we're going to drag this on over towards this wall. If you do all this properly, you're going to have a very fast full clear. It's going to be around 316. Yeah, 316 Raptor Start full clear. And I'm going to still show you what it looks like because, like I said, you do not reset after this. So you get Scuttle. You have time to look for a gank in bot through this terrain or a gank in mid through this terrain. And you just wait for the Scuttle to spawn. And usually what I like to do is I will kill this Scuttle, correct? I'll ping out the enemy scuttle because that's typically where the enemy jung is. And what I could do is I could look for a gank through mid. I'll put a ward right here. Look for the gank through mid. If there's one, I have this perfect angle. And if there's not, I could just queue over this wall towards my camp. And I'm going to wait for it to spawn. There you go. And you can queue over that wall to this camp. And then I have my next E up to go to my last camp, which I will be using Smite for.
People say I'm toxic. I'm not.
So usually I do like to use my Smites on the normal camps instead of the scuttles as you've been able to see. But this is what the red side Raptor Start full clear looks like. Hope you boys enjoyed it.